Hi, I'm Sophia Cook and welcome to my channel. I'll be honest with you, I very nearly didn't press record on this because I wasn't quite sure about how I wanted this account to be, what I wanted to talk about on this account. But then if I continued to wait for that perfect moment where everything was aligned, it was never going to happen. So I just hit record. I have done this a couple of years now, but I just haven't uploaded the video. So we're making a change in 2026. I'm Sophia Cook. I'm a woman in her 40s, a family of 4, my husband, my 2 children, both 5 and 6, and our dog Sausage. Now, at this stage of my life, I spoke about many things on other social media platforms, but my life seems to be taking a different course of direction. And I just kind of want to take you along with me and also try and find a community where people can find similar things relatable to them. I can then be inspired by other people and just not feel so alone on this journey. I know social media can give you the idea that, you've got so many followers or so many friends. I have a very small knit of friends, and I feel that I have got some value in what I've experienced and how I think and how I feel, and that I kind of want to share. But ordinarily on the other apps, there's just not really that opportunity to. It's quite fast paced, and I like the idea of being able to share longer form content. So here I am. So I'm nearly 47 years old. And as I mentioned, I had started my family at 40. And prior to that, I think I met my husband when I was I must have met him when I was 38, and we had a whirlwind romance. But we're starting from the beginning. We had a whirlwind romance where I met him on a dating app, and we got engaged after 3 weeks. And 8 years later, here we are, 2 children, a dog, and a house that was renovated in a very short space of time. And it's been a really interesting time because, both in our 40s, we met, we got married, we had our son in 2019, and then we had our daughter in 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020, right? And it was interesting because when we were on our journey to try and have children, we were told that I may have missed the boat because I was overweight, because of my age, and I think it was very unprofessional of a midwife to tell me this without any real data. Them saying that because of my ethnicity and because of my age, older black women generally found it very difficult to conceive. And I just took their word for it. And we were going to start our journey on IVF. And just by chance, the doctor hadn't submitted some information, and we missed that window of opportunity. And but then I fell pregnant, having got a dog. We got our dog in August of 2018. And then a month later, I found out I was pregnant. Anyway, we did a renovation, and that renovation was documented on a UK TV programme called George Clark's Old House, New Home. And originally it was only supposed to be 1 room, but then we ended up doing the whole house. And that TV show came out in January 2020. So I was 6 months pregnant, thereabouts, with my daughter. And of course, we all know what happened. We all know what happened in 2020. The whole world was in lockdown, and we'd just finished the renovation, but I gave birth to my daughter. So that's 2 children born on the same day, but exactly 1 year apart. And at one point during lockdown, we were in lockdown longer than we'd actually been together. I should probably just take it back a little bit. I met my husband on Tinder. We confessed to one another that we were very much in love, having love embombed each other. Like, I don't know. There should have been some red flags there, but I'd been married previously, so I just kind of knew what I wanted. Sure, I didn't know him. Like, how do you expect to know somebody after a few text messages, a long chat, and then the next day confess that you're in love with him? We all know that lust somewhere was involved there, but 3 weeks later, we got engaged in Spain. And we've been together for about 8 years. And we were hit. We were hit with lockdown, and at that point we had a dog that was going through her season, a son, a 1-year-old son, and a new baby daughter, and it was a lot, but we had a lot to be thankful for because the house was done, and my husband Cookie was still being employed when many people across the world were losing their jobs. But it felt like a highly pressurized container of still getting to know each other with 2 children under 2. And so really that's kind of shaped, it didn't really shape my social media because I was just mainly talking about the renovation in the house. So what is this account going to be about? I hear you ask. Well, I'm in my 40s. I'm going to be 47 soon. Birthday is on the horizon. And just about life and just trying to find that community of people, like-minded people, not just women, men too, like-minded people that are going through the same thing. I talk about family, but I don't centre my whole self around it because I am an individual outside my children and my husband. The importance of reinvention. So I've spoken about the renovation of a house. Our house is over 110 years old and it's constantly evolved over the different ownerships. Why can't that be applied to our lives in terms of reinvention? I've been a project manager, I've been a club host, I've been a building manager, I've been many, many things. I've been a shop assistant, I've been a shop manager, I've been many things. And at this stage of my life, having had my children, started our family at 40, I've now discovered that there are actually other things that I want to do, and I want to take you along on that journey with me. Like our home is an evolving space, I think I'm evolving gradually, and I don't have a script. I don't have a script, and that's not because I don't want to. It's because I tried that before I came to London. I'm actually from a place called Bucks, Buckinghamshire in the UK, and I've been in London for about 23, coming up to 24 years. And the reason why I left is because my mum passed away and I just could not exist in that space of where I grew up. There were too many memories. So that's when I came to London. And a lot obviously happened within those 18 years that I was here, or can't do the math, before I met my husband. And I was married previously. So I had several different identities in life before I met my husband, my second husband. And but now I just feel like this has been the safest spot in my life 24 years later. So I talk about the importance of giving yourself some grace. I talk about the fact that how my children have given me that superpower in order to reinvent my life through movement, through experimenting with different things, into being creative, in finding my voice, in finding what it is that I want to do. There's not just one thing. And I think when I was growing up, we were often told in school to have that timeline, go to school, go to college, get the qualification, go and get a degree, get the job, get the house. And because I invested so much in that, and I stand by that. I travelled, I did so many different things. I didn't feel ready to have kids with my first husband. I didn't think it was the right thing to do. Hence, that's why we ended that relationship. And then I met Cookie. Cookie isn't actually his name, but he likes to be known as Cookie. It's actually Simon. I prefer Simon. And so anyway, so you've come to this point in life where I'm experimenting in movement, in my voice, in how I dress, my new body. I'm getting used to my new body, having had 2 children back to back. And, I kind of want to share that journey. Having been my last role was a building manager / project manager. And now I've been working across social media as a content creator for the last 5 years. Now it comes in ebbs and flows, right? It comes in ebbs and flows, but it can be the most frustrating because you can't always necessarily predict what work's going to come through the door, but it's allowed me to be the most creative and open, almost set a reset and how I want to do things. How long will I be doing it? I don't know. And in order to continue that momentum, you may need to pivot because you're looking to get different streams of revenue income. But I tell you what, the most I've gotten from it is building community and meeting new people. Don't let people fool you on these apps thinking that they're always out there with their friends, they're having this like amazing life with all these people and all these events to go to. It can be, you're working in isolation a lot of the time, so it's not like going into an office. But let me tell you, I would not trade this way of working for anything, because it is allowing me flexibility around my children. And at this age, it's really, really important for me to be around them, because I didn't have that with my parents. And now that both parents have passed away, my mum passed away nearly 24 years ago and my dad nearly 19 years ago, I make it my mission to try and keep pivoting around them in order for me to be there for them. And I love it. They're both 5 and 6, so they are still Diddy. And I love being able to pick them up for school and take them to school. And what a privilege that is. You know, I don't ever take it for granted. But in order to do that, you know, I'm finding different ways of becoming me. Not necessarily the old me, but a new me. This isn't a renovation, fashion, wellness. It's all of those things. It's all of those things as I navigate my 40s. I remember somebody saying to me, oh, isn't the 40s just like the new 30s? No, it's 40s. I'm going to be 3 years away from 50, and I want to delve into more conversations around body, mind. You know, we were always, well, for me, I was told that you need to know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And to get on the internet and tell you that I don't know what I'm doing may be a daft thing to do. People may think that I should know by now. But I don't, because my life has changed and it's not what I thought it was going to be 10 years ago. And if you are the same person that you were 10 years ago, then I beg you to reevaluate that. Talk about the house. Like I said, we've been in the house for over 6 years. We're not looking to renovate it like we did, but we are looking to refresh it. I talk about health and fitness because this is something that I'm focusing on. At nearly 47 years old, could this be perimenopause? How I'm living with that, raising 2 very small children. And I want the energy and the vitality and, you know, to keep going. I love movement. I love dancing and I love music. I used to work in clubs. Like, we're talking years back, but that's still, that residue of movement and dance is still with me today. I brought out a podcast several years ago and I've been threatening to do that again because, as you can tell, I like a chat. So that's fashion, fitness, wellness. Am I going to touch upon relationships? I would love. What I really want to do is talk about all the dates that led me here. I spent, I don't know, how old was I? 22 when I got to London. And I put an ad in a paper, in a classified ad, into meeting men, because I wasn't dating. My mum had just died and I was just like in London, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? And I love dating. So before there was the swipe right and swipe left, I'd like do little classified ads, but that's another story altogether. That's another episode. So in midlife, what is midlife? Where does it start? Like, you know, if we're talking about demographics, people will assign the Gen X. You know, I was born in 1979, and I am still figuring it out, and that's okay. I'm happy for all the people that know where they're going, what they're doing, how they're feeling. I'm not there yet. I feel that lockdown really did take something away. It was one of the most. This is going to sound a bit wrong, but hear me out. Lockdown was one of the most amazing times for me. I became a mum for the second time and I never thought I was going to be able to have kids. And so to be able to have 2 kids back to back, born on the same day, it felt like a really joyous time, but it was also a very scary time because the whole world was coming to a standstill. And I was feeling things that I'd never felt before. I was in a very new, we'd just been married, I think about 2 years. And so everything felt new, scary, daunting, but we were living in this container. So yes, we were both from home. And yes, you know, my husband Cookie was still working, but I still didn't really know who I was. And it just felt like I was living in a fog. And that fog didn't lift. That fog did not start lifting until last year, until 2025. And yeah, I just thought I've got so much I've got more gratitude. And I'm now kind of concentrate on the things that I do have. And last year was tough because I lost a friend. I've lost so many people, loved ones over the years. And so we're not going to be here forever, right? This video will outlive me by all means, right? It could be archived somewhere, but I really want to get the most out of life. I really want to get out of my own head. I really want to not stop waiting for perfection. Not like I ever believed in being perfect. Whatever does that mean? But I just feel that stop waiting. And I want to encourage people. I want to encourage anybody that is at a stage of life that they feel they have to wait for until they're ready, until everything is aligned to get something out the door. I'm not here for that. I want to live urgently. I want to live with urgency. But I also want to give myself grace. And I also want to tell you to be more graceful with yourself. And I also want, whilst I'm on this self-love journey, and I haven't just been on this self-love journey the last couple of years. This has been over 23 years. When I lost my mum, I felt at my absolute lowest. I was at my lowest. So I've had to kind of remodel, and, there's been relationships with other people, not just with men, but with friends, platonic relationships, whereby I've had to shed some of those along the way. So we'll be touching base on that also. For some weeks it will be around the house. What am I wearing? I don't know if I'll be doing get ready with me, but it's more about not really buying a new wardrobe, right? I'm only buying new clothes to support and clothe the body that I'm in. I have lived a life of not necessarily being happy with my body and probably not treating or saying the nicest things to myself. Like people in the world that will say things that will troll you. Like, trust me, I've said a lot worse to myself. So I just of course I'm human, it might pinch me slightly, but then I just back them off. Because I've spent the last 23 years dissecting myself and telling myself that I won't be good enough. So yeah, I'm here to give encouragement and support other like-minded people. So some days, some weeks, it might be, let's talk about the house. Let's talk about what it's like being in our 40s. And, to those that are heading into 40s or heading into 30s, what can you expect? Expect to live your life. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. And by projecting that out into the world, hopefully it will encourage anybody not to use a guidebook, not to try and look for answers with anybody else, but live it how you want to live it. What I am going to do is try and be more consistent in this. I'd like to build out I'd like to do more with my podcast. I'd like to have open, honest conversations with people that I don't know. I'd like to take you on my journey of me learning photography. That's my thing at the moment. It's been my thing for a while, actually. But I've actually invested in bits of kit. And I might be going back to college. Did I mention that I failed my driving test twice? So I'm back to doing my driving test all over again, back in the car. And I'm a really shit swimmer. I'm not great at swimming. So I've been having lessons every week and front crawl is killing me, but I'm in and I'm jumping in at the deep end. So as you can tell from this, however long this video is, it's a little bit up and down, but what can you expect? You can expect me to show up as I am. I think that's the most sustainable thing that I can do. Show up as I am, get the conversation rolling. 1 minute it might be about my dog, 1 minute it might be about the kids, 1 minute it might be about what I'm wearing, where to go in London, what to do. Or next it could be me looking to speak to you on my podcast that I promise to relaunch in 2026. I'm promising it to myself, I'm promising it to you. If you haven't heard it, it's called Sophia Cook's Sooner or Later podcast. I'm going to link it somewhere on here whilst I try and navigate here. But yeah, I don't know. I like to get up and dance in my kitchen. I like traveling. I like traveling with my children. I wish I was going to New Orleans Mardi Gras this year like I did last year. I'm just here for the opportunity of meeting and growing a community like everybody else, because it's been lonely. It's been really, really lonely, and I want to just meet like-minded people. That's it. That's me. What is it? Rough and Ready? Is it Rough and Ready? Yeah. I'm Sophia Cook, and this is me speaking in my yellow room. Braless, because we are not really wearing bras at the moment. Not to say I'm never going to wear a bra, but it is irritating me. I think I've said enough for now. What do you think? Anyway, Sophia Cook, 40-something, trying to figure it all out still at the age of nearly 47, but I'm okay with that. Anyway, it's me signing off, and I will see you next week.